Hova, Hovey, H to the V-E-Y. What's up?
That is brilliant. Nice work.
Hovey.
I don't think Jay-Z is at any risk of you taking over.
We're with Dan Hovey. Hove's in the house.
That's right.
It's a hard knock life for you.
Yeah.
No, very excited. This is Friends of Feeney. I usually start all right, but we had to start with the Jay-Z,
Sure.
with the Hovey. Do you get that a lot?
No McConaughey.
Yeah.
Well, I would say actually as a kid, I'm not sure if it's a 2-syllable thing, but as a kid, no one called me Dan. Everyone called me Hovey. But this predates Blueprints, that no one really cared about Hova.
Yes.
So I think he probably took it, for me.
Yeah, Feeney. Everyone seems to call me Feeney. Hovey, Feeney.
Even
Some
my
names.
daughter. My daughter was called Hovey through most of elementary school. My son is 3, so I think they don't call each other anything.
Hovey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Friends of Feeney. My name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. And I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. And you're in the West Hartford community doing great things.
Thank you.
And this is episode 170. How's that feel?
Honestly, that's amazing that you've done so many. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of podcasts, they start off strong and they kind of peter out, and you've definitely kept it going.
Can't believe Direct Line Media has been putting up with me this long. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you, Maximum Beverage. You been in here before?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a frequent flyer. You got the...
I wouldn't say frequent flyer, but I mean, this place is fantastic, right? It's huge. They have great selection, great bourbon. So definitely in the rotation.
Nice. So what you been up to?
A lot of sun-related stuff. If we can, I guess, go down this path. I had no idea what Friends of Feeney was until, I guess, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. And I remember I was talking to Ryan and Eric Bergenn, and I was so surprised in what you were doing because it was so on brand with things that me and my wife had been involved with locally for a couple of years, not nearly in the official capacity that you were. But I had a very hard childhood and lost my mother at a very young age, and then was a victim of some physical abuse as a child. And kids who go through hardship have always been very near and dear to me. I know that as I've gone through difficult things in my life, that support system and people around you will pull you through it. And I have a very close friend, Officer Jamie D. Simone, who's retired now, but she was with the Newington Police Department for years. And when she moved into a public relations role, me and her were just chatting about it one day, and she was talking about these kids that go through incredible hardships, especially around the holidays. And she told me this story about a kid who, specifically one child that kind of brought us into all of this. He woke up Thanksgiving morning, and both of his parents had overdosed to heroin, and he was 8 years old. And, that is just such a hard thing to hear. And, when I have a 9-year-old now, and obviously I had been through some trials as a kid. And when you hear stuff like that, you're compelled to help in any way that you can. And I know as an 8-year-old, you probably wake up and what do you do at that point? Your whole world, even if they weren't great parents, they're your whole world, and you don't even know how to separate that. And so we started a very avant-garde, bootlegging version of a charity where we would go around and find businesses and people to sponsor children that had gone through trauma, specifically around the holidays. We worked with the Newington and the West Hartford Police Department, and the detectives specifically, and they would find families that they thought would be good fits, and we would find businesses and people to sponsor these kids and buy Christmas gifts for them as if they were their own children. And then I would go around Christmas Eve in a Santa costume with the police escort, and we would deliver presents to these kids. And it was important for us too. I remember, buying, 20, 30 gifts for a child I had never met. And then importantly, taking my daughter, who is maybe, I think she was 5 and then 6, back then, and she would help us wrap the gifts, and it was a great learning opportunity to
Yeah.
talk about, kids who were going through it. And so when I heard what you guys were doing, I'm like, I guess we can stop and just start working with Feeney, because you guys are obviously a lot more organized, and that organization certainly helps reach more people. We were only able to help, maybe 8 to 10 families a year in our limited resources. So I'm really excited to see where this all goes, because it's obviously very close to my heart. So I applaud you guys, and thank you for
so
what
much.
you do.
And thank you for opening up and sharing that. And that you saw something that needed to be done, and you took action. So I commend you. That's awesome. So you're gonna dress up as Santa. You're gonna deliver some Friends of Feeney
Whatever you
toys.
need.
I can't wait. This is great. I'm really looking forward to this collaboration. We've been doing a toy drive. I think this Christmas it'll be our 7th year. Families all over West Hartford. We collected over 900 toys last year, thanks to wonderful people and businesses that have hosted. Luna Pizza. We always have a party at the end with pizza, a DJ, caricatures.
And let's just say Luna Pizza is definitely the best pizza in the town.
You got it. You heard it here first. Hovey.
100%.
Hovey said
they do that Luna lunch once a month for the West Hartford Chamber, and Dave's a great guy.
Yep. Alex is awesome.
Oh, Alex, I'm sorry. I'm thinking he wants Dave Portnoy to come there. So yeah, sorry, Alex. Sorry, Alex.
I did a pizza review.
Oh,
and
did
he
you?
was on the podcast, and I made the pizza.
Did you give it a rookie score, or was it?
I think I gave it a 9.9.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Perfect.
Got to do, decimal points.
Yes.
You got to say one bite and take like 10.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Did all that. Talked about the undercarriage.
Yeah, in the flop scenario. Oh, you know what? So the thing about Portnoy that's confusing is that I feel like everything he says, I agree with, and how I like pizza. My wife is a New York pizza slice fan. I like the New Haven of pizza. But when I use that One Bite app, I swear I disagree with every review. He has pointed me in the worst possible pizza joints. I don't know if you've had this experience.
I like Little Rendezvous in Meriden. Did you try that one yet?
I haven't. That's on the list. That and Zuccardi's
on Cheshire. Foucault's.
Yep, I've heard that's great too. But sorry, you were talking about pet partnerships.
Yeah. So cut me off anytime.
Yeah, right.
No, get back to your story, and that's why I was very excited to talk with you. You shared that with me at an NBT event recently.
Yeah.
No, I love that you're willing to give back, and again, doing it for your children. That's the main reason.
Sure.
One of the reasons I do that too, to show that we're giving out. There's more people in the world than yourself. Give to others.
You hope it's as impactful as it can be. I know that it's a small gesture to a kid who's lost everything, so it almost feels like not enough.
Yeah.
But and maybe it's done selfishly on my end, because it feels good to help people, and I just have been there and I know what it's like. But you hope that it has some positive impact long term for those kids, because they deserve it. They're children, right? They're innocent. They need every opportunity.
And you mentioned Eric Bergenn and
Yeah.
Ryan McGinnis. Ryan McGinnis has collected. I just met him 2 years ago. He was giving toys to Children's Hospital, Children's Medical Center, and they said like, "Oh, now we want gift cards." And he's like, "No, I don't want to give gift cards. I want to give toys."
Sure.
So he reached out and found Friends of Feeney, and we've been connected ever since. He's a good friend. So for every roof he washes or cleans, he donates a toy. And
Cool.
then last year, I think he may have given us like 30 Jengas, over 100 toys, maybe more, 200 toys.
Oh, and Jenga's like
Super
an
generous,
anxiety-driven.
super thoughtful. Thank you, Eric Bergenn. Thank you,
That's Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan. They look alike.
Maybe. I don't know if that's true.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But they both had their separate show. Then we had a
I saw that.
collaboration
Yeah,
show,
I did
and
see
we were
that.
drinking. It was
Well, they're
great.
both. I'm both clients of theirs, and they're both customers of me.
There you go.
Yeah, I've actually put solar on 2 of Eric's houses. I did it on Ryan's home in West Hartford, and Ryan does my exterior cleaning. Does a fantastic job. You can see all over West Hartford neighbors and friends. He's just blown up every time someone asks about gutter cleaning or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And Eric has been our financial advisor for years, and has, to be honest with you, been more than just a financial advisor, really been a mentor. As when I opened my business, 6 years ago or 5 or 6 years ago, there's a lot of questions and a lot of mistakes that are made, and just having someone that understands your financial situation to be able to advise you, and someone who owns his own business, he's been really a strong supporter and help along our path. So I love those guys. They're great people.
Cheers to them.
I won't share our meme history.
Cheers to them. We did some tasting on the podcast in Bergenn's office. He had a nice selection. Do you want to share about your selection?
Sure,
today?
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, camera's over here, camera 3. This is Widow Jane, which I love Widow Jane. I've always tended to gravitate towards bourbons that taste like they've been finished in a separate barrel. And I stumbled across Widow Jane. I love the story about the disgruntled widow, Jane, who took over her late husband's property and then gave it back to the state of New York, and now they use that limestone filtered water. I like the story behind it. And I brought this bottle. This is actually a bottle you can't buy unless you're at the distillery in Brooklyn. So I thought it was fitting because probably anything else that I have could be purchased here. So I thought that this would be kind of a fun bottle.
It's an exclusive. Widow Jane.
Yeah, Widow Jane Decadence specifically.
Decadence.
Yeah.
Past podcast guest Andy, Coach Andy Erline, yep, loves Widow Jane. So
yeah,
I'm drinking this, Andy, and you're not.
I try to not tell a lot of people about it because it started popping up places. There's actually a lot of Connecticut bars now that have it. I'm a little nervous that it's going to become the next Blanton's, and you're not going to be able to get a hold of it.
Where in Brooklyn?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I think you know this, we just ran the New York City Marathon in November. And so I feel like I've been through Brooklyn more now than I ever wanted to. It was near the water.
Okay.
It's really right out there. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I've been to Brooklyn Brewery. I've been to Peter Luger's.
Okay.
That's
Brooklyn,
it.
Is that Brooklyn Lager? They make the green with the big cursive B on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic beer.
Yeah. They're actually moving locations.
Okay.
Cool. Oh yeah, and it's Susie Foundation.
We sponsored last year.
That's a friend of. Is he Bergenn's friend or Ryan's?
That's
friend?
Ryan's friend. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good golf tournament. It's over at Tunxus Community.
Speaking of golf tournaments, September 12th, the Friends of Feeney 5th annual golf tournament. Do you golf?
Okay.
Do you sponsor? Do you golf? Do you volunteer?
I do both, sort of. I mean, I sponsor better than I golf.
Okay.
I have been playing golf for about 15 years, and there is no way to identify that unless I just told you that I golfed for 15 years. It's one of those things that I've always had success in sports, and done well in soccer, in college, and in basketball. In golf, man, I'm so bad, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
That and bowling, I just want to be better at it, and but yeah, that I may or may not be able to play in it, but certainly can contribute. My daughter's birthday is either going to be the weekend there or weekend after.
Gotcha.
So as much as I love Friends of Feeney, my daughter will always be
family
precedent.
first.
Yeah,
family
exactly.
First. No, you've always been extremely thoughtful and generous. I want to thank you for your donation. It truly means the world for our nonprofit.
It's about time.
Yeah. Long
now
overdue.
that we know who you are, it's exactly. I've been spending money in things like this, but just didn't even realize that there was a charity so in line, or it had so much alignment with what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a conversation with my wife 2 years ago about thinking about closing my business because I felt so compelled to be in the charity world, and I didn't do that, obviously. Yeah. And then it was like, just, how life works, just through passing and conversation. It's like, oh, I don't need to do this. If I started a charity, it would be competing against Friends of Feeney. Yeah.
Join our team. Come on.
Yeah.
We could use some directors, or you want to be a volunteer. You want to be, what's that called? So a director, when you could direct when you want. Advisor, whatever you want to do.
Sure. We'll absolutely figure something out.
Secretary, treasurer, what do you want?
I don't want that much responsibility. I just want to help, especially help directly with the people as much as I can. But yeah, we definitely need to find some type of
in our
place.
Umbrella of heartbreak or tragedy. It's loss of a loved one.
Sure.
Severe sickness or illness, and displacement from your home for like a flood or a fire. So if you know anyone out there, we just helped our 151st family and provided over $305,000.
Wow.
$300,000. We hit the $300,000 mark. We're super proud. It's a milestone.
Should be proud.
All volunteer, community-based organization.
And that number represents a lot of families who have found help.
Yeah.
Right. And that's obviously the important part.
Yep. We've helped from house fires to car accidents to surgeries to losses of loved ones in multiple facets. So a wonderful team: Matt, Marty, Jen, Ty, Rob, Dante,
Hova.
Yeah. Hovey.
Yeah, and we'll definitely incorporate the installs that we do in some type of charitable giving to the we'll have to figure out what that looks like.
Oh yeah, Bergenn's gonna do every time he gets a new person. Ryan's doing every time he cleans a roof.
Yep.
You got to do some every time you
100%.
install something for solar.
Absolutely.
And speaking of solar, West Hartford Solar.
Yes.
Please tell us about that. Where'd you get the inspiration? When did it start?
Yeah, so we opened up in August of 21. To be honest, I had worked in a company, Turnpike Motors Auto Body in Newington, and loved my job there. Worked there for 17 years, and had gotten to the point where I had a young daughter, and I was working 60, 70-hour weeks, missing dinner with my child. And, growing up, I cooked dinner by myself quite a bit as a kid, and I just didn't want to be absent from the home. And you sometimes get to the point where when you're putting that, I remember I had a kind of a moment of realization when I was stressed out, upset that I couldn't see my family, and you're working hard, and you realize that not only you see the owner of the business walk out, and you're like, I'm still here. What am I doing? I've always been very loyal and hardworking, and you just have these moments where you're like, I'm building something. I'm really contributing and building someone else's dream at the expense of my family and my relationships. And so my wife, who, if anyone's ever heard me talk about my wife, I'm just so impressed with her and so thankful that she wanted to build a life with me. But she owns a business. She owns an allergy practice, allergy and asthma family care, right on Farmington Avenue, right down the street. And I was watching, she said something really compelling to me once. She is not open on Fridays. And I said to her, as kind of being a workaholic, couldn't you make more money if you were open on Fridays? She said, well, absolutely. I said, well, why aren't you open on Fridays? She's like, because I don't want to. I value my time. It blew my mind.
Oh.
Something so simple.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
And I was like, I need to do something in my life that's different. And so I wanted to own a business. And I have an engineering background. And looking at industries that I thought were smart ones to get into, and also problems that exist in the state, energy is a massive one. People don't understand the energy crisis that we live in Connecticut and then also Massachusetts. We operate in both states. So last year, only 30% of the energy that hits the outlets or that runs the lights in here or the podcast equipment, only 30% of that is generated in state from our nuclear power plant, Millstone. That power plant is decades old. One of the 3 reactors is decommissioned already, and then the other 2 are set to be decommissioned in the short future. The rest of our power comes from out of state, sometimes as far as upstate New York, and in some cases down actually in Louisiana. And it's all natural gas that's burned, or primarily natural gas generation. And then they ship that power, 400 miles, 700 miles to get to your service panel to run your house. So when you look at your Eversource bill, you usually see a pretty hefty supply section, and then you have these massive delivery charges. And the reason why our delivery charges are so expensive, it's no different than what's happening when you ever do Uber Eats or DoorDash, where you get a $10 sandwich and it costs $40. Our energy is the same problem, right? We have the kind of inexpensive supply, but it's being delivered over a very large area. And that infrastructure is some of the oldest infrastructure in the entire country. Obviously, Connecticut's old. And so our grid here is very, very, very old. We run into a very high percentage of transformer upgrades when we have to do solar because it's too old to be compatible with, modern day electricity. And so when I was trying to find a new industry, I thought that's probably a good place to start. It's a big problem. It's interesting to me. And we're kind of at the front edge of the industry. I don't want to build a business in an industry that's old. And so I got into solar. And when I first cut my teeth, I worked as a salesperson in a national solar company and learned a lot about how I didn't want to do it. There's a lot of problems with the solar as an industry. There's a lot of deceptive practices, fraud. A lot of people have had bad experiences because they got, a sales rep that took advantage of them or didn't explain something correctly. And legislature can only catch up so fast to keep people safe. And I also saw another really interesting thing where the really high quality consultants that took their time to explain things, they didn't deal in contract fraud, pretty standard stuff you'd think. They actually didn't excel at those companies because their volume was too low. And I'd actually watched guys that were incredibly gifted with their people. They treated their customers fairly, seeing them get fired because they didn't have a high enough volume of those people. And to me, that never makes any sense. I came from the collision repair industry. We were quality over quantity because of safety. It was all about when you got a car that came into your shop that had, blind spot monitoring sensors and, all sorts of sensors all over the vehicle. You have to be very careful about how to repair those cars. And that's one thing that Doug does at Turnpike. That's, he specifically targets personality types of risk-adverse people that can fix cars safely, not fast. And I was watching those same personalities in solar lose their jobs because they weren't fast enough. And so I started my own company and brought all those people that had been fired in, right? And it's okay for us because we're not publicly traded. Volume is great for building a business, but we don't need it to stay in business. So we can focus on the very nuanced market of West Hartford. We have a lot of interesting homes here, a lot of trees, particular customers that have high expectation for aesthetics. And so being small and agile and focusing on quality, we fit really, 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 really well in this market. And West Hartford, that Neighbors and Friends group, which is fantastic. And we're a part of a lot of town Facebook pages. Most of them are awful. It's just people arguing about politics on the federal level, not even like local politics. West Hartford is a super helpful page. People, I'm really hungry for ramen tonight. Where should I go? And there's a lot of great recommendations. But our community has really been very kind to us. Listen, it all matters to us. My kids go to school in West Hartford. We live in West Hartford.
Great teachers in West Hartford.
Great teachers in West Hartford, right? Webster Hill Elementary School completely changed my daughter when she started going there. They completely helped her in a million different ways and made education something that she hated to something that she really loved. So I'm a big fan. And my son's over at Schechter, and they're fantastic as well. West Hartford was certainly the target market, and then it started growing, and now we're in Massachusetts as well. Potentially expanding into Maine next.
Wow.
Maine has actually had the highest rate increases over the last 3 years out of anywhere in the country. They don't have a lot of options either.
Will you keep West Hartford Solar?
Yeah, we've actually
as you branch out.
Yeah, we're West Hartford Solar in all states. We were worried about that. My marketing agency, DigiArcs, Rob Madrid, which is a good friend of Eric's and mine, and even Ryan's. We kind of talked about it and said, does it make sense to still be this elsewhere? And when we kind of workshopped it, like the Hartford insurance is sold nationwide, right?
Oh, good point.
And if you live in Connecticut, West Hartford's always going to carry some level of quality sound, right?
Yep.
If we're good enough for West Hartford, we're likely good enough for some other fill-in-the-blank town. I won't name towns specifically. I don't want to alienate any listeners.
Waterbury.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, only the worst people come from there. You and Ryan Combs. No, we love Ryan. Ryan's my next door neighbor. That's why I said that. And he helps my wife and I get stuff off the shelf when we can't reach it. And I remember when I was talking to the girl who designed our logo.
Yeah, very cool logo.
Yeah, I was. So it's funny, when she designed it, I didn't even know what her first name was. We used her for. We did a lot of we actually did 90% of the the safety apparatuses in New England, fire trucks, police cars. We did a lot of that stuff. And so a lot of times when you get a police car in that gets into an accident, the decals that they have on the side, it's difficult to just do the door decal if you don't have the original file. So we worked with a company that was very good at replicating them, and then having us just do one panel. And so we always called her Sticker Girl, and I didn't know what her real name was. It is Kristen. She's great. So I was talking to her. I said, "Hey, can you make a logo for me?" And we were dancing around green planets and solar panels and all that stuff, right? And I was like, "Everybody does that. Like, can I just put my dog on there?" And she's like, "You could do whatever you want, Dan."
That's your dog.
It's Annie. Yeah, this is Annie. We lost her 2 years ago to congestive heart failure, which was hard. But I'm proud to be able to wear her on my heart every day, well, my chest every day, I guess, depending on the shirt. But yeah, Annie walks with us every day.
Super cool.
We kind of built we use dog themes for internal sales stuff, like different tier levels are, pack leader and different things. We've kind of themed it around
the
dogs.
Poodle, the Rottweiler, the Pit
No,
Bull.
because you can't offend people. But yeah, it's worked out fine. We've actually gotten several insults. I don't think people should choose us for this reason, but we've had a lot of people that are like, "Honestly, chose you because you had a dog in your logo." I'm like, probably not the best metric for choosing a product that's going to be in your house for 4 decades,
Whatever
but we'll gladly take the business.
Wow. No, very cool logo. And then Sunday Swagger, very cool.
Yeah.
Shirt. And then Annie.
Annie, yep. Her full name was Lady Anne of Marlborough.
Yeah. And then you have an awesome, come on, I'm a teacher, show and tell. This is a cool business card.
Probably not going to be able to see it on camera.
Can we talk about the business card?
Yeah, that probably won't help either.
Jeez. Anyway.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? You do a lot of events. How many business cards have you gotten at events?
So many.
So many.
And this is the only one I kept.
Yeah, it's unique enough. It's clear. It's actually very hard to read as a business card, but it's memorable. So I give that one out.
Is it now when you do solar, is your whole life about saving? And now are you also like a recycler? Are you conserving? Do you reuse? Do you recycle?
Yeah, I mean, like in my personal life.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to tell you that I'm like the greenest guy ever. My wife turns lights on off behind me in the house. She had to explain to me which things go in the blue bin versus the green bin.
Okay, you answered my question.
So yeah, that probably answers the question, right? We say that people go solar for one of 3 M's. Okay. One of them is they're sick of the monopoly of Eversource. One of them is they go for money. And then the third one, this is kind of like a shoehorn, but it's more sustainable. And sometimes people go solar for a combination of the 3. Certainly, economically in Connecticut and Massachusetts, it almost always pencils out, as long as you have a house that doesn't need a lot of upgrades.
So money, more sustaderegulated, and
monopoly.
That's right.
Yeah, because you don't have any choice besides Eversource. And
what a scam!
Right. They deregulated it so that we could pick our own supplier, but that's only 30% of your bill. Yeah. And people just want to have control over their energy costs. We do really well in communities on fixed income because if you say go solar with a lease product, you know exactly what your energy expense is every single month. And so if you're on fixed income like Social Security, those are much stronger products because you don't have to worry about, well, now I have a $700 bill in July, even if it's cheaper in the winter. And we've added a lot of financial products over the years to where we can generally sit down with somebody and find the product that makes the most sense, whether it's owning it outright, whether it's purchasing it through a HELOC. We partner with the local bank, NBT Bank in West Hartford, to do all of our HELOC financing. I like to deal with local companies when I can. Mm-hmm. We have prepaid lease options, which allow customers to take advantage of the 48E tax credit that still exists, even though the other one was sunset last year. We have leases and PPAs. We have roof leases for people that don't use a lot of energy but have a lot of roof space and want to just get paid for the power that the system generates and still just pay their Eversource bill. So we've tried to get as many different products so that when we go to a home, we can really not just sell them the products that we have, but actually have several products that may or may not make sense. And also tell people when they shouldn't go solar, because that does happen too. There are a lot of homes I've been into where I said, this isn't the right call. You know, your roof is 5 years away from needing replacement. You're saying you're only going to live here for 5 more years. Just wait.
Okay.
Let the next homeowner do it. It's not going to make sense for you to do.
All right. Can you sell me solar panels right now?
Sure, potentially.
Let's hear your pitch.
Hear the pitch. Well, I hope that some of what I've talked to is a bit of the pitch already.
Yeah, so I like the money part.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think the best way to put it is...
I've already got my house GPS mapped.
Okay.
I'm a good candidate. My neighbor may have it.
So, I mean, here's, I think, the probably the most compelling reason. You're going to use electricity in your house.
Yep.
Right? You can't help that. You're going to have to do it. And if you're using 10,000 kilowatt hours of energy every single year, why pay more for it? Right?
So automatically it lowers it.
Yeah. So there's a couple different
certain ways, like you could own the solar panels and pay them back, or you could lease the solar panels and pay a little bit each month.
Yeah. So I think the best way to explain it is this. There's really two ways to go solar. Not blocking from the mic. There's two ways to go solar. One is where you own it, and one is where you don't.
Yeah.
Now, there's several different variations of those two kind of primary or fundamental ways. Obviously, ownership makes the most sense logically. All right, I pay $8,000 a year in bills, and if I buy a solar system that costs me $20,000, then after 3 years, I am cash flow positive. That makes sense to people. There's some return on investment window. You can finance those where maybe the system that now produces all of my energy, I was paying $300 to Eversource every single month. Well, now I'm paying $200 a month in a loan payment. So I'm paying $100 less a month. I no longer have an Eversource bill, and at some point I'll own that system outright and have nothing to pay. So that's one option. The other option is called it's sometimes called a PPA or a lease. They're really interchangeable in Connecticut. PPA stands for Power Purchase Agreement. Really modern day PPAs are levelized PPAs. Probably none of that actually matters, but the best way to explain how a lease works is not a car, like how I lease a car. A lease is actually what you have with Eversource right now. So with Eversource, they have power plants and they have infrastructure and a grid. They generate power, they deliver the power to your home, you pay for that power on a contract. That contract says that you're going to pay 29.2 cents every time that meter spins around once, and they can change the cost of your electricity 4 times a year. That's the agreement. It's not a great agreement. You would never do a mortgage that way where you'd sign up for a 25-year mortgage and have a variable rate at 4 times a year, right? But that's what we have with Eversource.
Okay.
We're allowed to, in Connecticut, to have the same exact agreement with a solar provider instead of Eversource. So the way that works, it's identical. In a solar lease, you don't own the power plant, just like Eversource. In this case, the power plant isn't a gas power plant 400 miles away. It's PV solar panels on top of your roof, right? That's the power plant. You don't own it, just like you don't own the Eversource plant. The infrastructure, the power lines in the street, you don't own those either. In this case, it's not power lines in the street. It's conduit or copper going from the panels down to the service panel, the breaker panel, right? So your fuel is the sun. It's free. The equipment has some type of cost, but not to you because you don't own it. And the infrastructure it's only being delivered 10 feet, not 400 miles, which is why it's cheaper, right? So you go into the same type of agreement. You pay a certain price per kilowatt hour. So if you're paying 29 cents with Eversource, maybe you're paying 20 cents or 19 cents with a solar provider. And that amount can either never change for 25 years, or you can choose an escalator where it goes up 1.9%, 2.9% annually. And there'd be a more extensive explanation of why you might choose one that escalates. They start lower. So based on your timetable, it might make more sense to pick one that it does actually escalate. But it's the same relationship. You have a contract that you pay for power, except this one can't change 4 times a year. In many regards, it can't change at all for 25 years. You lock in a price. And if you could have locked in your fuel prices in 2001, would you have done it?
Yeah.
Of course, right? Because gas was a lot cheaper in 2001. Now it's 2026 and it's $1,000 a gallon or whatever it is. I drive an electric vehicle, so I have no idea what the price of gas is, right? But it's expensive from what I hear on the news. But if you can lock in energy costs at any point, it makes sense. In this case, you're locking in energy costs that are maybe 40% less than what you're paying Eversource today. And Eversource has gone up 4.92% every single year since the year 2000. So now, in fact, in the year 2000, we were spending a little over 10 cents per kilowatt hour for delivery and supply combined, and it's up to 30 cents now. So it's gone up 200% in 25 years. So that means if this continues to go at the same rate, which it'll probably accelerate because of AI data centers, if it continues to climb at that rate, we'll be spending $1 a kilowatt hour. Most homes use 10,000 kilowatt hours a year, which means $10,000 worth of energy expense a year on an average home.
Jeez.
Which is, it's coming. Data centers are going to be a big problem. We'll see how they end up handling it, but our biggest problem and why our energy is expensive is because we have very limited supply. We have massively high demand. And every year our supply decreases a little bit. Millstone gets a little bit older and more people buy EVs, more people put heat pumps in, and our demand dramatically increases. And any economic triangle, when supply is low, demand increases, price always goes up. So that's the pitch. Yeah, right. There you go.
Right over by Woket Park.
Love that park.
Yes, great park. Main reason I moved in.
Yeah, we're a Beachland family.
Okay.
We're on the other side of the tracks. Took me 25 minutes to get here.
Yeah, of course.
Whenever we get a house in West Hartford that makes an appointment for someone to come see him, I'm like, it's either going to be 2 minutes or it's going to be half an hour. There's no way to know.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of West Hartford, there are 23 single-family homes available for sale. I had a real estate agent on last podcast, Rob O'Meara, shout out 166. How many homes do you have a percentage on how many use solar and how many don't?
Yeah, actually we do.
Okay.
Yeah, so Connecticut is one of the country's leaders. So now 1 in 10 homes in Connecticut has solar panels.
One out of 10.
1 out of 10, which is a massive number. I don't actually know if by percentage there's a state with more. California, obviously, by volume has more solar. Massachusetts, same thing. Texas, same thing. But I don't know if a percentage of homes it's as high. Connecticut solar has been booming, but Eversource prices have been booming. And there's a direct correlation between solar volume and energy prices. In fact, it's slow for us right now. Is a comparison throughout the year, the bumper months tend to be slower for us because your heat's not on right now and your air conditioning's not on. So you have your cheapest Eversource bills of the year currently.
Why is it a bumper month?
Because because the winter is the summer is crazy. When people get their first June bill, we can't keep up, right? Long? Yeah, we can't keep up. But right now, people's bills are cheap. They have other things that they're worrying about.
Is Eversource starting to take notice? And are they changing the way that they're doing business because of the competition? Or are they still running full speed ahead?
Listen, I would love to be a massive Eversource hater. I really would. My customers hate them, right? I have no way to know if there's corruption or all these things. There's a lot of things that get thrown around. Eversource has a real problem that they, I think, do their best to try to solve. People don't understand when you don't produce a lot of energy as a state and you have to import all that power from out of state.
Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, what do they expect our energy to be? And Eversource doesn't have control over that. The supply rate that they charge us is a pass-through. They make zero profit on it. And so when they make up, there was a lot of complaints last year about the combined public benefits charge. And while true, there were some charges during COVID, there was a lot of people that lost their jobs and they were unable to pay their Eversource bill. And they made a temporary order to allow people to defer that payment, not wipe it out, but defer it. And anytime you have a payment deferral, it doesn't ever work, right? Because you just get more and more and more behind. And so a lot of these people that were in deferment became delinquent. And Eversource's margins are not fat enough to where they can just adopt all this delinquency or non-payment, especially since the government forced them to not accept money. So it's this kind of like problem window where we have lots of delinquency where people can't afford their really expensive bills. So they go into delinquency. And in order to cover those expenses, Eversource has to raise the people who are paying the bill has to raise their money because we need a grid that functions and works. It costs a lot of money to keep this thing going. And they're hoping that people are paying for the energy that they're using. But as they do that and they increase the rate for the ratepayers that are paying, obviously you get a whole new percentage of ratepayers that can no longer afford the bill, right?
Gotcha.
And now you have to raise the rates again to the paying ratepayers. And now you have a new percentage of people that can no longer afford the bill. And where does it end, right? And as we bring on, AI is here. It's not going away. We've opened that Pandora's box, however people feel about it.
I heard that uses a lot of energy.
It uses a tremendous amount of power.
Uses a lot of water.
Yeah, they use water for heating, but just running these processing units to,
Just
there's
to ChatGPT something?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always those jokes online where like someone
Google.
does an AI image, they're like, oh, there's 70 gallons of water or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of energy that's used in AI, and we have a huge bottleneck of power in this country. And listen, obviously I love green energy. I'm actually a big supporter of all types of energy. We should be using oil. We should be using gas. We should be using nuclear. We should be using wind, maybe, but using wind where it makes sense. Texas is really successful with wind. In fact, they have so much wind produced overnight in sections of Texas that you get free energy between the times of, I think, 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. All your energy is free. So I have a friend who owns a solar company down there. They barely even do solar now. They just install batteries. They have the batteries turn on at 10 p.m., get completely charged from free energy, and then they run off the battery for free during the day.
Ooh.
So that works well there. It doesn't work everywhere, right? But we have a massive energy bottleneck in this country, and I think we need to be supplementing it in many forms. There's no perfect answer. Solar's not perfect, right? The moon comes out. I haven't developed lunar panels yet. We're working on it.
What about winter?
Winter, we have reduced. In fact, that's a good point. So the way that we get around winter, where we have obviously a lot less production, is we size systems that will overproduce so much in the summer that you're using stored credits to pay for your bill throughout the winter. So that's a good point because we don't get enough, we don't get enough sun in the winter to power homes.
Do you pray to the sun every morning?
Yeah, there's there's that yoga pose, I think, right? That we have to.
Do you have a sun tattoo?
No. Listen, I have no tattoos.
Okay.
Which
Cheers for that.
Cheers. Okay, so you might be. Everyone's got tattoos. Right? My wife and I are tattooless. I've always wanted tattoos.
Me too.
I wanted to get a memorial tattoo for my mother. I wanted to get like an old, Americana tattoo, the mom with the heart. I just think it's Americana. It's cool. Get the whole thing. Put my mom's favorite flower and bird on there or something. Oh. And I've been thinking about it. Got it designed for years, just never done it. And now being tattooless makes me unique and cool.
Exactly.
Because everyone has them.
I'm telling you, everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna get the belly button ring, but then that just became cliche.
Sleeves, neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let me thank some sponsors. We're here at Maximum Beverage. Thank you, Maximum Beverage. Thank you, Direct Line Media. Thank you, Brookloff Law Group, Sally and Bob's, Luna Pizza, Float 41, Fix IV, Keating Agency Insurance, People's Bank, the JCC, Parkville Market. We got a new one, American Eagle Financial Credit Union.
Good people.
Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Jessica. They're on board. They're sponsoring for, I think, 4 or 5 months.
Listen, they mortgaged my first house.
They're amazing.
Love them.
They catapulted Friends of Feeney in the right direction with their community give back to the community grant. We were during, I think, right into COVID or right before COVID. We earned it, and they're just wonderful people over there. So thank you, American Eagle Financial Credit Union.
And that's new because AEFCU used to be something different.
Yes, and they're walking distance from my house.
Oh, really? Okay.
Friendly people, good people. So thank you, American Eagle Financial Credit Union. And
I think it's Federal Credit Union.
Oh boy, no, it's financial.
Is it okay? Well, I remember which one was. They were the other name when they mortgaged my first home.
And then we got a new one. Oh, JCC. Ever go to the JCC?
Yes.
So I want to give you a week pass.
Okay.
Check out the JCC. I don't know if you want to go sauna after. I'm going to sauna and shave. I have a little time for a shave.
Yeah, JCC's great. We bring my son to actually both our kids to the park there.
Oh yeah, Jonathan's Playground.
Yeah, Jonathan's
Amazing
Dream,
place.
I think is
Jonathan's Dream Playground.
Yeah, it's such a great playground. My wife and son are Jewish, and so my son's at Schechter, I think I had mentioned. But yeah, we love to support those guys.
That boat, when you first go in and take a right, it's a rocking boat.
Yeah,
I helped fundraise for that boat.
Oh, that's cool.
I helped.
I wasn't going to say this originally, but that's actually the best attraction there. Well, it's the best attraction there, I think.
See, I did that. I brought that there. No, like JCC is a great place. I've been swimming, working out. I've been playing basketball for 17 years there. I have a little knee injury, so I've been swimming and trying to get back, but great place. All right, and then our last one is West Hartford Lock. So West Hartford Lock, funny that you say that. West Hartford Lock is in West Hartford.
Yuri, right?
Yuri and Eric.
Yeah.
Episode 40.
How do you recall that so quickly?
I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
When they branch out, they are northeast.
Yeah, they're changing,
door and
right?
security.
Okay, yeah.
So they're West Hartford Lock in town, but when they go out, they're northeast. So that's why my question posed, would you be changing to like...
Well, it's funny you say that because we are thinking about forming a parent company, but for a slightly different reason. Getting back to 1 in 10 homes have solar. So I've done a lot of work with like different real estate agencies, and there's a reality in real estate that's actually true about any sales type of job where 20% of the people in that industry do 80% of the business. And that's true about across any sales. Any mortgage broker will tell you that that's how their real estate agents, 20% of the real estate agents do 80% of their sales volume. That's true in solar. It's true in pest control. It's true in every sales industry. What we find, though, is that there is, on the real estate front, there's a lot of confusion about solar. A lot of real estate agents, they're not experts in solar. They don't understand the contracts that they see. I partner with some real estate agencies to be their resource to review contracts of solar contracts when someone's buying or selling the home, so I can explain it to the incoming home buyer, potentially then offer service to them to service and maintain that system for them. But we found that now that 1 in 10 homes have solar, there's a big need for real estate agencies to get on board with it and get a better understanding on it. So we do a lot of trainings for different real estate agencies, but we're also going to be getting into the real estate state as well, as real estate part of the business as well, to where we can specialize in the purchase and selling of homes of people that have solar homes or that are looking to buy solar homes, because we're already well equipped to help those people. And we find that there's just a big need in the real estate industry, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of real estate agents that love this segment. But we just hear some of the most uneducated explanations. And I understand because it's not their industry, but there are times where we hear explanations and we're able to go in and clarify and like, oh my goodness, okay, now I get it. And it's just something that our industry needs. It's something that people who are buying, selling at homes, when people from California come over to Connecticut, all they want to do is buy houses with solar. And I've actually worked with several California imports, for lack of a better term, and they buy the house and they're calling us for solar. They want solar right away because they had solar, they had a battery. They're just not used to houses without solar when they come here. And they actually would have consulted their real estate agent, and the real estate agent told them not to get it. And they're like, you're crazy. Why would you not have it? So there's a need in the market there that we're going to fill. So when we do that, we'll have to have some type of parent name above that, and that's kind of all in the works, working on our brokerage license. And
very cool. Very cool.
Try to become a holistic approach to green energy.
We got to talk Ryan Gomes.
Sure.
Whiskey and running.
Yeah, okay.
Your choice. Which one do you want to go first?
The biggest item on that list, Ryan Gomes. Man, so when Ryan moved in across the street from us, what's happening? Nothing. Oh, when Ryan Gomes moved in, squirrel. When Ryan Gomes moved in across the street, it was funny. He was playing catch with his daughter, and Ryan stands out. He's 6'8", you know. Yeah. I look over, I'm like, oh my goodness, being a huge Celtics fan, I'm like, that's Ryan Gomes.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, very excited. My father was very excited that Ryan Gomes had moved in. And it was great because our daughters became fast friends. They're roughly the same age. His daughter is about 1.5 feet taller than my daughter.
Yeah.
And I told his daughter that she's no longer allowed to stand next to me because she's now taller than me, and she's 10. Which, I stopped growing in 2nd grade, so that's not too much of a stretch.
She's a baller too.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
His kids are great. His youngest daughter, who I have the most
they're
experience.
both ballers, actually.
Yeah. His younger daughter, who's been very close friends with my daughter, is such a sweet kid. They've been a great addition. So we got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's a super interesting guy. Made some incredible sacrifices to be more present with his family. I'm just a big fan of Ryan, so
Yeah,
I'd love to see him get on here.
We'll be high school, baby.
Yeah, I hear that he's the 2nd best player to come out of there.
2nd best player, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what were the other options there? Bourbon. Well, I think we kind of talked about bourbon a little bit, right?
Little Widow Jane.
Big Widow Jane. Yeah, I would say, if I had to put a top 3 on the docket, Widow Jane would be my first. Probably would end Midwinter's Night Dram.
Never heard
Number
of it.
2, very excellent. Probably Woodford Double Oaked and / Jefferson Ocean. It's like kind of my top 3.
Is that Woodford Reserve or is that?
It's Woodford Reserve Double Oak. So they I believe pass it through again in another barrel.
Yeah, they do a Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, they
every
do like
year.
the label and stuff.
My
yeah.
Uncle Jimmy has like all.
Oh, no kidding.
What about Pappy?
Okay, so I was I had the opportunity to have some Pappy 23. Okay. I did a lot of community work with Dream Ride up in Farmington Polo Grounds.
Yep.
Started for several years ran the Fireman Chili Cook-Off. Since we fixed so many fire trucks, they came to us and said, hey, would be a good place to give money back. And so we said, volunteer fire departments, they don't have as much funding as state programs. So we would do a really fun chili cook-off with those guys. I am firefighter over policeman. Sorry, firefighters are awesome. Love police officers too, but firefighters are people you'd rather have a beer with, I think. And it was great. We raised all these monies for these departments so that they could, replace their bedding for when they had to do overnights and all this great stuff. And so because of our involvement there, I got to go to one of Mike Bizzuto's, we used to go to these like events, and they did a cigar and bourbon thing. And they were pouring Pappy 23. So cheers, Mike Bizzuto. Obviously does a lot for Special Olympics. Yeah. He was my introduction to Pappy.
He started in Waterbury.
Is he?
He's in Cheshire now, but he's in what? Or is it the Bizzuto's, like the distributor?
Bizzuto's, yeah. They're in Cheshire now.
Oh,
yeah, Bizzuto's trucking. They supply all the IGAs. But I had Pappy 23, and I will tell you, I would never buy a bottle.
Wow.
I like a little water in my whiskey. I don't like to lose my voice after drinking.
Yeah.
And Pappy is a hot bourbon, man. It is just, I understand. I appreciate it. It's just not the thing I sip on.
Interesting.
Someone gave it to me. I'd probably, I'd definitely share it because it's not my thing. But
my last podcast guest, 169, Seth Wickersham, ESPN reporter, wrote a book about Tom Brady and all these quarterbacks. He had a guy write the foreword, Wright Thompson. Wright Thompson wrote a whole book about Pappy Land. So I tell Seth, I'm like, hey, can I get an autographed bottle of Pappy? He goes, I could get you the autograph.
Yeah.
I can't get you the Pappy. So I was trying to squeeze it.
Well, there was there was a documentary called Neat. Did you ever see that?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. It came out like a little while ago. And I could be getting this wrong here, but I'm going to get some of the details here. But the feeling is correct. There was a man who had worked at Pappy, which is, I think, Buffalo Trace Distillery. He'd worked there for, decades, and with his father and his brother. And they had been gifted a bottle of Pappy 23 because of their years of service. And this is where the details are going to be wrong, but the feeling is correct. So I apologize if I get some of these wrong. I don't want people screaming like, you got that wrong. But there was some type of tragedy. They decided to save the bottle for a special occasion. I'm sorry. They decided to not wait. They just drank the bottle because they're like, you know what? They wanted to save for a special occasion, but one of them was like, no, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We need to do this. And then shortly thereafter, after they enjoyed that bottle, one of them died in a car accident, I believe. And it just really brought something to the forefront that we're not guaranteed tomorrow, right? And you just got to take advantage. And we have no not open bottles.
My guy, Matt Whitney once said, wise man said, don't wait for the occasion for the bottle. make the bottle the occasion.
Like that.
That's his brother. Wise man, right?
It seems like wise advice.
I think little bro agrees. That's Connor agreeing with Matt Whitney. Wise man once said. So I agree with that one. I had a thing of Pappy once, and I waited and waited and waited for the thing. And you know what? Fantasy football, after, I'm just going to let all my boys taste it.
Sure.
You know, I thought, a little taste here, a little taste there. Why is my guy grabbing? Goes, do, 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 do. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah, you're like 40, 50, 60, 70, $80. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, there's one bottle that I think... So my wife got me a bottle on the day that we got married, which was a bottle of Yellowstone that, that has like our engraved on it. I only drink that once a year. Actually, not even close to being my favorite bourbon, but that one seems like, all right, well, anniversary time, I'll pull that bottle out, get to look at the label that she had, or the bottle that was engraved. But yeah, don't wait. Just open the bottle.
Open the bottle.
It's a perfect bottle for a Tuesday.
I like it.
And then you said running. Right?
Yeah. I ran a marathon, 2015 Hartford Marathon, 4 hours and 45 minutes.
That's a great time.
And I paid $80 to $100 to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it. I cried when I finished. I accomplished something huge. My family was there at 2 different miles. So I know you ran. How many have you ran?
So I've run 3 and trying to get to the 4th. So my introduction into running was actually inspired by my daughter. She, when she was 5, I think, she had come to me and said, Dad, I need to do this thing. How do I do it? And I said, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And she says, well, I can't do that. That's too hard. And we have a rule in our house that's you can't say I can't. You can say I can't yet, but you can't say I can't.
Power of yet.
Yep. So I
Growth
said,
mindset.
Yeah. So I said, she said, well, I don't care, Dad. I can't do it. So I said, all right. About a month later, she accomplished that goal, and I was floored. It was actually, I actually had questioned whether or not I should have given her that task, but she did it. I was super proud of her. And she says to me, well, Dad, is there anything, she started feeling real proud about herself. She said, is there anything you've ever wanted to do that you never did? And I said, well, I've always wanted to run a marathon. She said, well, why haven't you, Dad? And I said, well, when I was playing soccer in college, I tore my calf muscle. And ever since then, every time I try to run, I can't. And she says, Daddy, we don't say I can't in this household. And I said, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm running a marathon. So we drove home. It was January. We drove home. I booked the Hartford Marathon in October. And I was, I think, 40 pounds heavier than I am right now. And, was building a business, fitness sometimes, and diet are painful processes. And so I was like, I don't know what to do, but I went to Fleet Feet right over on Farmington Avenue, and I said, hey, I'm going to run a marathon in 10 months. Can you put shoes on my feet? They did that. I downloaded a running app, and like Forrest Gump, man, I just started running.
I was running.
And I bought a book, 40 weeks to a 4-hour marathon, and I followed it religiously. I think I lost 30 pounds that year just running 40 miles a week. And I was Hartford Marathon Day. I was running. I was on pace for like a 3:50. I was so excited. Mile 17 broke my ankle. And it was like a stress fracture, right? On the talus neck or talar neck. I don't remember the name of it. My wife would tell you. And blew my race up. Really struggled at that point on. And I finished at, I think, a 4:40 or 4:45, similar time. It just took a long time to get those last few miles. But I'll tell you, when I finished, there was no way I was not finishing that race. Very painful to finish marathons in general, but certainly on the ankle that I had. When I crossed that finish line, thinking about my daughter seeing that I was able to accomplish this thing. And not only that, when I ran the marathon that year, I actually got a bunch of other guys in the solar industry, about 20 in total, to run marathons that year too. And I shared with my daughter, I said, do you understand that your bravery to do that hard thing that I asked you to do inspired 20 grown men to do a very hard thing?
Yeah.
And so I hope that was impactful to her as she realizes the power that youth have at times. And I had gotten accepted to run at the Boston Marathon 6 months later. So I had to rehab for about 2 months. I was in a boot after Hartford, and Jen Torillo, I don't know if you know Jen, Concentric Care, Wellness. She's a athletic trainer in Newington. Fantastic. She got me out of a boot and marathon ready at the Boston Marathon by the following April. Did not have a fast time. I raised $15,000 for Dana-Farber Cancer, obviously in honor of my mom, who had passed of cancer when I was 10. And I remember looking at my wife, because when I finished the Hartford Marathon and didn't get my sub 4-hour marathon, I was really disappointed. And my wife said to me, she's like, it's such a shame that you did such an incredible thing and you walk away sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Avi Smith
Avi.
Rappaport. Yeah. So he said something really
Amazing
important to
human
me.
being.
Yeah. Avi's great. And he's been someone that I've relied on heavily because he's a very accomplished endurance athlete. And I hate to even say that I'm an endurance athlete. I've just run a few marathons, and I try to get in as running as much as I can with running a business and having a young family. But the most important advice he ever gave me is always have your next race booked, because the second you don't do that is when you stop running. And for me, that's been true. The second I didn't have a race booked, I've become way less consistent. Because I kind of need that carrot. Like, what am I training for?
Yeah.
Makes it easier to train when you're actually training with purpose, as opposed to just like maintaining something.
Just running to run.
But my wife and I, our Christmas gift to each other was what's it called? A Peloton tread. So I guess, remember there was all that outrage years ago? Remember Peloton came out with a commercial where the husband bought the wife a Peloton, and there was all this public outrage because it was like, you shouldn't get your wife a Peloton. Well, I got my wife a Peloton, but we love it, that we like to run. So it was a good gift from the both of us.
Yeah, definitely.
And 0% interest on those purchases too. So, is Peloton a sponsor?
Peloton should be a sponsor. No.
We'll get them on the horn.
I think we're cutting on time, but so we'll just couple upcoming events.
Sure.
For Friends of Feeney, we have June 14th at the Bristol Blues, May 11th at the Hartford Athletic, August 14th at the Hartford Yard Goats, and our 5th annual golf tournament, September 9th. Please join us. Please sponsor. Bring the kids. Memorial Day.
Where's the best place to find all the upcoming events for Friends of Feeney?
Good question. friendsoffeeney.com or Instagram or Facebook. friendsoffeeney.com. Check out for our upcoming events. Or you could even subscribe to our mailing list. We send them email once a month through MailChimp. We could send you that, hook you up.
Please.
I also want to shout out Tommy's Place in Cape Cod. We've helped the same family, and Tommy's Place is right in Centerville, Cape Cod. Wonderful place. The Centerville Circuit. You have the park. You have Tommy's Place. You have Penny Candy. You have Four Seas Ice Cream. If you want to go down a little farther, you have Craigville Beach. Oh, and I missed the library and Thrifty Niche. So I've been going there for 47 years. The 1856 country store is my favorite place. And I got this at Thrifty Niche, is a consignment shop, but they helped a family that we've helped. So Tim gave us a tour. Tim runs Tommy's Place. It's named after someone in Falmouth. I think a bartender in Falmouth started Tommy's Place. It helps every week.
Is that how you pronounce that, though? Isn't it
Falmouth?
Yeah, there's some like long
Falmouth.
Yeah, vowel there.
It started in Falmouth, but then they have a house in Centerville. They're mansions that they redid for children that are struggling with cancer. So, and they give them a week, and it's like indoor pool. Maybe like, I'll show you, like the Simpsons room, the Bruins room, Lego room. It's an amazing place in Centerville. And the quarter deck in Falmouth, I was talking to the bartender. He knows how Tommy's Place started. He knows Tim. I gave a Friends of Feeney patch. It's behind the bar. A priest overheard me, gave a donation to Friends of Feeney. So thank you for the priest if he ever hears this. And Tim was a wonderful person who gave me a tour. And I got this at a consignment shop. So I had to rep Tommy's Place. And I wanted to share that. This is a wonderful place. They help children and families just like we do. And Penny Candy is my favorite place on earth. They're going to sponsor. We're going to put together a Cape Cod basket for the golf tournament. Penny Candy, maybe Four Seas, a golf, and Celtic Kitchen. So a little Cape Cod package. And then thank you for everything that Tommy's Place is doing.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Can I ask you questions?
Of course.
What do you think how long is Friends of Feeney been going now?
2019. So
2019.
7
okay,
years.
7 years. 6 or 7 years, right?
6, 7.
Yeah, exactly. You can cut that out. What do you think over that time period? Can you think of a single event or thing that was the most impactful to you personally?
Good question.
'Cause you must have seen incredible
Yeah.
things and experienced incredible stuff. Because whenever you're involved in charity, there's so many things that feel great.
Yeah. Helping my first family will always be near and dear to my heart. It was my student. She's graduated from college since then.
Crazy.
She comes back and substitutes at the school where it all happened. She's an amazing human. She's working so hard, and like, she lost her dad, and she's like powering through. She's going for her PhD. I'm so proud of her. Like, I'm practically like an uncle. She had the twins in the family. I have twins in the family. It's just wonderful people. So that's one family. Just there's so many, but that one really stands out. Helping families from Waterbury for my hometown, helping families that just recently, my brother-in-law's friend, lost his loved one. So my brother-in-law reaches out on his behalf. We send the check. That friend calls my brother-in-law crying in support. Like, thank you, Sam, for reaching out and advocating on my behalf. It was a pleasant surprise. Like, that family doesn't even know Friends of Feeney existed, yet here we are. We send them a check, and so they're very grateful. Helping over 150 families. So
Crazy.
Hall.
And that's not a small feat. We are all so consumed with our lives and our families. That's 150 people, like families, to affect. That's a huge number. One family is a huge number.
Yeah.
Never mind 150.
I shared once where I was collecting raffle tickets once at a Yard Goats game, and I was like, hey, you want to support? And the mom looked at her daughter and was like, hey, that's Friends of Feeney. They helped us when Daddy passed away. And I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to sell them a raffle ticket. And that I helped them. I didn't even know.
Right.
So just trying to help as many families as we can.
People need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you on board.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to be utilized in any way that you think is appropriate or good.
Toy drive for sure.
For sure.
Sponsorships
we'll donate.
would be
We'll
amazing.
donate based on all of our customers involved. We talk to hundreds of people every month, so there's definitely a lot of opportunity there to help. And that's actually simpler than the way we used to do it.
Yeah.
Trying to find a bunch of people to give toys.
Well, it's been an honor talking with you. This is Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 170. We're with the Hovey. H to the O-V.
Yeah, H to the is O-V to the E-Y.
What else we got? I got 99 problems, but solar panels ain't one.
Excellent.
Any closing remarks?
Oh, man. Go Celtics and go Sox.
Boo.
Yeah.
We're Knicks. This is a Knicks podcast.
Oh, sorry. Then we could do a different closing statement. I have no idea. That seems like a really hard thing to... Closing statement. I guess I would thank you for what you're doing. I know that the energy and time that goes into... honestly, sometimes you take on the emotional pain of the people that you're helping. So it can be very, very emotionally trying as you're helping people. So I give you a lot of credit and thank you for helping people that need it and going out and finding those people as hard as you can, because people need help, and I'm glad that there are people that are accepting it, and I can't wait to be able to use the things that we've done in the past to help the families that you're in touch with.
Yeah. You have a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing. And I can't wait to collab and partner.
Yeah.
We got a bright future ahead. This is full speed ahead to the moon right here. Friends of Feeney and West Hartford Solar with Hovey. Tomorrow is a big day for me. I'm getting honored with the Champion of Children by the Village of Children and Families. So very
Where's that going to be?
That's at the Hartford Golf Club.
Nothing wrong with that place.
Right. I'm giving a 5-minute speech.
Do you get to play?
I should get a free round, right? Hello,
Can we-
me and
who-
Gino.
Yeah, but who listens to this podcast? They need to we need to get a round here, and because we were discussing it together, I think it's only fair that we both get a round of golf there. I mean, it's wasted on me. I golfed. What's that? Is it in Bloomfield or West Hartford? It's a very difficult course. Is it Gillette?
Ridge.
Oh my goodness,
impossible. I'm not my least favorite.
Yeah,
It's so challenging.
Listen, I understand it's a fantastic golf course for people that are good at golf. It was awful for me. I couldn't even finish 18 holes because I didn't bring 1,000 golf balls with me. That place was way too hard for me. I wish I was better. It's awful. But Hartford Country Club, I'm in.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
Again, so good to see you and chat with you. On 3, we'll say be a good friend.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Be a good
friend.
At the Friends of Feeney.